Yes, I'm recording. Good evening to all of you. Happy evening. It's going to be just, we are a minute away from the workshop. And I always get excited when any workshop on the sales front happens because I really believe, yes, I'm a trainer, an entrepreneur, own companies, but heart of hearts, I still believe I'm a sales guy. Some of you are joining new. My name is JVC Sreeram. I'm an international keynote speaker, an author of an upcoming book, which will be releasing on most probably on August 24th, titled No Reference Point. I'm a coach and a consultant, and also a mentor. I do a lot of corporate training, and I also, since the lockdown period, we've been doing a lot of webinars on a digital format. So welcome at 6 p.m. Right. So thank you very much for all of you for joining in this webinar. And thank you that it's my pleasure that I come to know that many of you were looking forward to something of this kind. So this webinar is going to be on objection handling. My models in training, or I have built certain models in training. One is called as a BTOPS leadership model, which is basically business, thought, organization, people, and self-leadership. Another model which I had developed over a period of time is winning in selling. So this training comes under the model of winning in selling. In fact, the last webinar, which I had on July 25th, I had given different components in winning in selling. And I would be running a winning in selling full-fledged training program, which would go for around 25 hours. I would be announcing the training program, the schedule, the cost, and everything in the future webinars. Today, this webinar is not to sell any training program from my end. I'm not going to give you any offer. I'm not going to sell any program. So this is basically 100%. This webinar is for a knowledge transfer. Yes, I did ask you a question when you are filling up the Google form that would you be interested if you are going to join in that course. That's a different story altogether. I've just collected the data. I'll share with you as and when we announce it. So one of the component of winning and selling, in fact, there are several components in winning and selling. I will run through the various components in winning and selling before we go into the exact part of it. So there are several concepts of winning and selling. And what are the various components of winning and selling? I'm just going to come to that particular part of it. And then I would, one second. Share screen. Yes. So these are the components which are involved in winning and selling. So what are the components which are involved in winning and selling? The winning and selling, the components involved are how to become a buying consultant. Because a salesman will have a lot of objections, but a buying consultant would be able to bring down the objections in a big way. A buying consultant helps prospects to make a buying decision while a salesman is trying to push. So that's the first element. The second element is the passion. Because if I don't have pride and passion in being a salesperson, I would not be in a position to sell. That's another component. The third component is understanding the behavioral styles of my prospects and customers and basically building relationship. Because when I build relationship, sales become that much easier. Then comes the ask triangle, which is the attitude, skills, and knowledge, the 7 skills and the 8 knowledge, which is required for a successful sales professional. The next element would be the emotional and logical selling. We would be touching on this today because I really believe people buy when they are emotionally attached to a product or a service. And having bought that, they make a logical analysis in terms of why did they buy what they bought. But the fundamental element comes with emotion. Selling is, in fact, some of the great sales authors like Zig Ziglar, they always say that selling is a psychological and an emotional warfare. But I would not like to look at it as a warfare because I would look at the sales professionals as a buying consultant and not somebody who's going to push the product. And the next component is overcoming objections, which is what I will be taking up in this webinar in the next few minutes' time. The next component is the negotiation skill. In fact, I would be running a webinar very soon in terms of deal making. not just on negotiation, because negotiation again is a very big subject. Probably the next webinar, the topic could be in terms of deal making as far as negotiation is concerned. One element of negotiation skill, which is deal making, that could be the webinar. The next element is the O3 process, which is the objective, outcome, and opportunity. Because by nature, most salespeople do not have a system and a process, and that affects their performance. And last two is in terms of the closing skills. How do I sell more? How do I close more? And then the possibility thinking, which I spoke about it last time. In all these components, today you will be looking at objection handling or overcoming objections. I'm just stopping the share at this point in time. And now we'll get into the core element of the objection handling. So just a minute. So we have completed this. I'm going to get into the core element right now. Just give me a second. Close this.
Light and light.
But before I start, I would like to ask you a question. So which was probably I need an answer from you. You can type in the chat box. Now, how many of you actually keep getting a lot of objection? Do you get objections in your sales process? Do you get objections? What are the kind of objections you normally get in the sales process? Can I have a quick answers from you? Ravindra says yes. What are the kind of objections you get? Because let's get into it. Santosh says yes. So what are the kind of objections? Yes, objections we all get. What are the types of objections? Money, okay, good. Budget problem, Krishna says. Okay. No money, Rakesh Rajan, okay. Ramana, no need. I'm going to need today. But I'll be addressing the need. Why you? Beautiful. Beautiful. Why you? That's an amazing question. Not now, Ravindra, right? Right? Not now. No time. Beautiful. Trust. Beautiful. We'll come back to you. Liquidity. Okay. So the exercise was basically to understand what all kind of why you. No need, no trust, no hurry. Okay, fine, right? Okay, no money. So John Koshi, right. Now, I'm going to give objection itself. Let's understand some very core element of objections before we get into this workshop. If I can understand the first two slides, then it will be easy for us to move forward. And then I would also give you certain situations for which you will have to come and respond back to me. Unlike many other webinars, today there is going to be a little bit of interaction. If you want to interact through audio, there is through your voice, I would allow you, not a problem at all. If you want to type, you can type too. Okay, so let's get into it. Objection handling. The first truth which all salesmen must know is few prospects would not tell you the objection. Okay, few prospects would not tell you the objection. Most prospects do not know their objection. That is where the problem is. If you agree with me, type in the chat box, do you agree? Agreed. Because this is something which is very, very critical. Most prospects do not know what is stopping them from making a buying decision is not known to many prospects. See, let me give an example of my own self. My own self. So, it could be because of something, but I don't know why. In the year 2000, I had a website called Aura Training Limited. In the year 2000, I started my organization in March, and in the month of June, I had a website, a domain. And in those days, to have a website, not everybody used to have a website in the year 2000, unless otherwise it's a big corporate company. Now, Somewhere 2 years later, the guy who developed my website, he flew away to USA. He had all the coordinates. My website was gone. Aura Training Limited was gone. So without website, I was able to run my business. Then by 2012, a lot of people told me you need to have a website. Again, I had a website, and again, I had the same experience. After that, it was decided by 2015 or 16, if I'm right, that www.jvcsreeram.com website is required. Do I need a website? Yes. Do I want a website? Yes. Do I have the money for website? Yes. Was there any other issue? No other issue. But I did not have a website till the month of May 2020. What was stopping me? What was the objection? Even I didn't know. I had a digital marketing guy whom I've been mentoring for a long time. Some people sitting in this room know him, Sachin Darewal. Prospects do not know their objection. Why people are, particularly when it comes to the question of insurance, people know they need insurance. And they've seen right in front of their eyes, lives have been lost. And where the insurance was not paid on time, as a result of which families have come to roads. Liabilities have been high. But yet, why have you not bought an insurance? No answer. I'll buy. I'll buy. Tomorrow I'll buy. Next month I'll buy. Later I'll buy. Later I'll buy. So what is stopping you? In fact, as a salesman, many times, have you ever asked this one question to a prospect? I kept the chat box open so you can answer to me. Have you ever asked this question to a prospect? What is stopping you from making a buying decision today? Have you ever asked this question? What is stopping you from making a buying decision right now? What is stopping you from taking an action now? I'm not sure how many of you have asked this question. And there is something called the suppose and isolate test. I'm not even got a slide on that. But particular money is an issue. Suppose, okay, this is a beautiful method. I'm going to give you even before I didn't talk about closing skills, but I'm coming to it. There is something called a suppose and isolate test. I'm typing in the chat box, so please keep the chat box open, because as much as the presentation is required today, chat box is even more important today. Suppose and isolate, because first you need a lot of courage and conviction to ask this question. What is stopping you from making a buying decision today, here and now? Sreeram, such an aggressive question can I ask? If you have built a relationship and if you are a buying consultant, if you're acting like a buying consultant, you can, you will, and you should ask this question. What is stopping you from asking this question? Fear of loss. At the worst, what will customer do? Customer will look at you and say, hey, who the hell are you to tell me this? Get out of this place. You lost a prospect. That's all. And you will know in the next slide something different. A different paradigm I'm going to give on objection handling. Completely different paradigm. You might not have heard about this in the past. Now the customer says, I don't have time to join your training program. Now I do the suppose and isolate test. Suppose and isolate. It's not only suppose test, suppose and isolate test. This is for validation. Because in a salesperson's very important thing is validation. Suppose you have the time, and time is not an issue. Time is not an issue. Then, would you be able to take a buying decision today? I don't know. I think money may also be an issue. So you know pretty well that this guy is going somewhere. Now, why am I coming to it? A lot of salespeople waste their time talking to the wrong prospect. And many of the sales guys, although we say we are result oriented, many of us are effort oriented, including me. See, because what happens is when I have a funnel, when I have the prospect list, because one of the toughest things in sales is prospecting. Toughest thing is not in the other parts, but we all know pretty well that toughest thing is prospecting. Finding a prospective customer is a very tough thing. So as a result of which, in order to satisfy ourselves, including me as a salesman, I'm talking about, I'm not an exception to this rule. Including me, when I open my Excel sheet and I see 25 prospects, it gives me hope. When I see 10 prospects, it gives me pressure. When I see 25 prospects, it gives me a hope. When I see 10 prospects, what happens is, now I will have to add more prospects. So as a result of which, my funnel has to get added. So prospecting is the toughest work to do. So as a result of which, what do? I keep it. But when I ask this question, suppose money is not an issue, and you have money, somehow I arrange the money, would you be in a position to take a buying decision today? And at that point of time, he says, no, I don't think so. I think, I'm not basically interested. In fact, I would have to consult with my family, and it's not going to be easy. I don't think I'm going to take. Now, you know pretty well you have been spending time with the wrong guy. If you agree with me, type on the chat box, agree. Not just for the heck of it. Agree. So now what happens? This guy is now going to go out of the prospecting list. Now you don't want him to go out of the prospecting list, so you want to keep him alive. So as a result of which, because either way I'm saying we are moving into because see, I've been telling this in different contexts. I'm telling you right now also, it is not the survival of the fittest. It is the survival of the quickest, swiftest, and fastest. As a result of which, we have to make a quick decision. In fact, I know a few sales guys who will be very quick. Prospect and suspect. Because there are two things, prospect and suspect. If I don't know whether it's a prospect or a suspect, objection handling will become very difficult. So what I have done, when I have done the suppose and isolate test, I have done the supposition and isolate. Need to isolate. So Ravindra says, one of the film directors answered the same thing. Need to ask my wife, sir, which means the next question, Ravindra, should be from you, sir, which means the buying decision is going to be taken collectively between you and your wife. Am I right, sir? And then you need to ask him the permission. Sir, then can I give a demonstration? Because I know what is the product you're selling. Can I give a demonstration when both of you are sitting together? Otherwise, he will keep on saying, no, it's father, it's your wife. Next, he will say, my children. In fact, that's the reason who are the influencers of the buying decision. We need to say. Now, if I don't have the courage to ask, in fact, this is where the hardcore sales guys are missing. Hardcore sales guys are missing the power of asking questions. And unfortunately, in India, we don't have trained salespeople. Kaila pai, kaluthula tai, vaila poi. Have a bag on your hand, wear a tie on your neck, and have a lie on your tongue, and you think you can become a salesman. No. I need to know how to ask questions. And today, the training is going to be on asking questions. So now we're coming to it. What does the isolate and validate? So suppose an isolate test does. Now, if you have understood this component of this training, if you have understood this component of the training, you will look at sales from a different spectacle from today onwards. There are 3 types of objections. If I can validate that this particular objection is this category, falls under this type, I can classify whether he is a prospect or a suspect. And once I have done that, I can take it for, and this is not, let me tell you, American sales technology will not work in India. I'm sorry to make this statement, because that's a different country altogether. Because I've worked in, I've been to US, I've trained in UK, I've trained in Bulgaria, I've trained in Israel, I've trained in Gibraltar, I've trained in Africa, different parts of Africa. And when I go to Africa, I would tell them, because in Africa, you will not find many people writing books or speaking or training. So they'll have to bring some American or a British guy. What works in America will, because America is a first world country. We are a third world country. We are a developing country. The economy is different. The economic conditions are different. In fact, I was speaking with one of my friends called Ramasubramaniam. He works in a mechanical industry. He used to work for L&T and now he's working for a different country. I told him, in fact, we had a conversation few days back, we had a conversation. And I was telling him, Ram, the problem is, the irony is, people sitting in America and UK and part of Europe are not able to understand the situation, the gravity and the magnitude of the situation in India. And he said, you're 100% right. My principle is there. And they are looking at it from that perspective. And I'm into oil and gas segment. I said, you want to educate. So coming back, objections from a genuine customer is a hidden request. It's a hidden request. Hidden request means what? A customer, when the customer says your price is too high, it can be either a hidden request or it can be an excuse. Hidden request is what? No customer will be that kind of a customer who would come and say, can you please tell me if this is the right price? Do you expect a customer to say like that? No. The customer will say, hey, this price is too high here. You're very expensive. In fact, whatever price you quote, the customer always says this is expensive. But it's actually a hidden request. He's saying, he actually means, reading between the lines, he's asking you, can you really show that this product has got value for money? So this is one hidden request. Because please understand, when I have an interest, I will have an objection. If I don't have an interest, I will not have an objection. So objections are entry door for a deal and objections are not exit door for a deal. I repeat, if you want to make a note of it, please make a note of it. Objections are an entry door for a deal. Objections are not an exit door for a deal. Most salesmen think that objections are exit door. No. In fact, I would always say, thou shalt see objections only as obstacles on the way to overcome success. I repeat, thou shalt see objections only as obstacles on the way to success. Sales is not an 100-meter race. Sales is an 110-meter hurdles race. Sales is not an 100-meter race. Sales is an 110-meter hurdles race. What do I mean by that? Most salespeople think that, hey, I'm going to run an 100-meter race. Just sprint, that's all. And they come. And when they come there, they find a lot of hurdles, obstacles, which are kept between them and the milestone or end point or flag point or whatever you call, the winning post. Most salesmen give up. Smart salesmen understand, I came here to run an 100 meters race, but selling is not 100-meter race, but it is 110-meter hurdles race. Hurdles means, you understand, jumping around. There was a guy by name Moses, Ed Moses, and was the number one in that. So you will have to run jump, run, jump, jump, run. So that's how it's going to be. So objections are part of a deal. So it could be a hidden request. So if it is a hidden request, how do I identify those hidden requests? That's the exercise I'm going to give you today. Right, in my detailed training program, we will look at every objection. In fact, I still remember, this was not something which I designed by myself. There is a hardcore sales guy for whom was my client in 2002. His name is Menon, N.K. Menon. He would say, Sreeram, you know what? I started my career in Hindustan Latex in 1980s. And he used to sell Nirod condoms. And he would say the toughest product to sell at that point of time, I'm talking about 1980s, late 70s and 80s, was condoms in India. Although, the government was saying that V2 hours to use condom, HIV, everything came later. But still, he would say it's extremely difficult to sell condoms. And him and me, for his company, for his organization, he's a hardcore sales guy. We sat together and evolved this concept called as hidden requests and excuses. So what we did was we analyzed each and every objection which would come from the customer and used to train all their salespeople. Okay, this is the objection. This is what you're going to talk about. This is the objection. This is what you're going to talk about. This is your articulation. This is the question you have to ask. And by the time it was completed, the sales guys were completely ready. Okay, come, ask, listen to the objection, present. Ask, listen to the objection, present. Ask, suppose, validate. Suppose, isolate, validate. That's it. That's the process. It could be a hidden request. Or it could be what? Anybody can type in the chat box. What could be the other thing? I said objection can be a hidden request. What else it could be? Any guesses? There are two more types of there. Anybody wants to take a shot? Just it's okay. Don't think it is the right answer or wrong answer. Discount? No, don't look at those. Don't look at any kind of stuff. Hidden request is one. Another is what? What is that not to buy? No, not point to innovate. Objection from a customer. It can be beautiful. Anand Badmanabhan. Hit the bullseye. I don't know whether you heard from me or not. Excuse. It is an excuse not to buy. And now he's a suspect. Now what happens? He has to be out of the list. You can talk to him. You can give him some presentation. So what you need to do is excuse. Because there are some customers who would say, money is a problem, time is a problem. It's an excuse for not buying. They're not able to take a buying call. They're not able to take a buying decision, and it is an excuse. In fact, Ravindra, the chat box you have typed, that actor saying that I have to ask to my wife before I make a buying decision, that itself can be an excuse or a request. If your next question which you had asked, sir, if it is that your wife is also going to be a part of a decision-making process, can I give a presentation or a demonstration in the presence of you and your wife together so that you can take a combined decision? At that point of time, if that actor tells you, no, I don't think she's interested in this kind of presentation, I will talk to her, then it's an excuse. He says, yes, I will check with her and come back to you. Just give me a minute. And he calls up. You know for 100% it is a hidden request. Then you get what is, I'm not sure how many of you have understood what I'm saying. Then it is called as a buying signal. In fact, you will have to look for buying signals. This is a buying signal. I hope all of you are able to understand what I'm saying. When you are giving a presentation to the Chief Procurement Officer, he tells that I have to consult with my CFO and take a call. Then you're saying, sir, can I make a presentation to your CFO also in your presence only so that it can help you make a joint decision? Then the Chief Procurement Officer says, no, I will do it. or I will check with him, or I'm not sure whether he'll be really interested, then you know that it's an excuse for him not to buy. He says, okay, let me check with him and come back to you. Then you know it's a buying signal. It's an hidden request. But Sreeram, there are times where the guy says, I will sell it internally. Now that is something which is very, very difficult. In fact, this is where, how many times as a sales guy have you heard, even if you're selling insurance, or you're selling a product, or you're selling a service. In fact, I had this done at one point of time. When I was selling a training program I was trying to sell to a dad, and he told me that, no, this program is not for me now, but I would want my son to join. So I will ask my son and I will tell about this program and let him join. And I immediately told him, sir, if you allow me, if you permit me, I would like to speak with your son and present to him. He says, no, I will do it. Sir, I've been trained to present and sell this product. I don't want to give you that pain to do the same. Because please understand, somebody else selling for you, it's a very difficult thing. In fact, you have to go through a 1-year program to actually make others sell for you. It's not so easy. So second is excuse. The third one is basically when you make these kind of statements, some people start shouting at you, start irritating you, start making big statements against you. Anand, that is not a right thing at all. I will sell internally and call you is one excuse. It's a big excuse. Because you know pretty well, see, sir, you're, please, it's my job, sir. Why are you trying to do? No, I will do it. There are some genuine people. I'm not saying that there are not genuine people. There are some genuine people who say, I'll try to sell internally. So you can always ask him for a permission. Sir, if you don't mind, is it okay if I can present? Or do you want any more inputs from me? Depends on the kind of relationship you have. That is where, so relationship is also very important. That's what I'm coming to. And then the third one is basically shouting at you is gorilla dust. Don't worry. When you ask some questions, because sales guys, normally 2 deals they crack based on what you said, got a demo done and got the deal. Wonderful, wonderful, Anand. Now, gorilla dust. What is a gorilla dust? Gorilla dust is, sir, can I give a present? What? No, because Ravindra, you will face this kind of situation pretty often. Because please understand, you will have gorilla dust means what? When 2 gorillas come together, have you seen National Geographic Channel? When 2 gorillas come together, they will take sand and throw at each other. That's all. These are all sand throwers. They need only a reason to ensure that they don't bite. And that is a gorilla dust. Okay. So, first, when objections come, suppose and isolate. Wait for a buying decision or a buying signal. Look for, is it either a hidden request or an excuse or a gorilla dust? If it is a hidden request, prospect, buying signal has come. You can go to the next stage. If it is an excuse, isolate again and again and validate and throw it off. Because he may be a suspect with whom you are dealing. And if it is a gorilla dust, absolutely waste of time dealing with such a kind of customer. Have you understood this concept? Can I move on? Can I give you an example of what is an hidden request? And how do you understand an hidden request? If you want, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I can move on. Yes, okay. I take it as a sample. So next one, how do I, hidden request? What is an hidden request? Your price is too high. Now, what is the hidden request? I challenge you to prove that there is value for money in this product or service. Now, this is what he is actually asking you. This is called as the hidden request. Your price is too high. Now, I have done this. I have done all these things. Okay. If I find that this guy is a suspect, then I would ask him, at what price are you looking for, sir? Oh, no. I asked this, literally I asked this question. At what price you're looking for? And I also done one more thing. I would also have several products at my disposal where I'll be. That's why I think some of you attended my last webinar. I told them there is a free offering I gave. If you can only spare few hundred rupees, I've got an offering in terms of book. I don't give webinar for $9.99, $4.99. That concept I don't like it. I don't understand. Neither you will get value nor I will get any value. I might as well give it free of cost. I have offering less between 5,000 and 10,000. I have an offering around 15 to 25,000, and I have an offering in couple of lakhs for 2 lakhs payable on a monthly basis. And I also have 5 to 6 lakhs offering for the corporate companies. So as a result of which, I literally asked them, so what is the budget you're looking at? Maybe I'll give you the right product. I have a different offering. And then I'll ask him another question. What are the outcomes you are expecting? If you are expecting 40% growth in the next 12 months, and if you're going to pay 10,000 rupees for me for that, sorry, sir. Now understand the voice modulation here. I've done an action now. And this is extremely critical in objection handling. If you're looking for a 40% growth in the next 12 months, and for that, you're going to pay me 10,000 rupees, that's not going to work, sir. You saw the voice modulation. But I had a client, this guy was the CEO and the CFO, everybody were attending all my webinars in the first few weeks. After every webinar, this guy will ask, I want your training from Indore. Now, then the guy came and I gave a proposal to him and they wanted. And I asked him, what is the price you're looking at? Then he said, sir, this is the price. I said, this price, you bring your entire team to my free webinar and I'll give it to you. So, hidden request. When the prospect says, I've not heard your company. I've not heard about your company. Which means, prove to me that you're a credible company. So likewise, you need to have a laundry list. But I'll show you that itself. I've not made a presentation here, so I'm not going to share the presentation with you in a big way, but I have got that. Let me see if I've got that. 1 minute. One second. In fact, I'll just give you the, see ya. I'll share with you in a minute. So just to share with you, that's all. You're able to see this? Hidden request. You're able to see the hidden request. I don't think this represents the best value per pound or your price is too high. Now, when I say that, when the customer says that, what is the answer I'm going to give? The answer I'm going to give is, I challenge you to prove that your product provides an excellent value for money. Likewise, we have several things. The size doesn't appear best for me. Then I have never heard of your company. I'm trying to reduce my expenses. And so I'm not in the market for anything new. So likewise, you will have so many hidden requests. And what do you need to do? You need to actually, I've just shown you, ran through everything. You as a sales professional would need to list down, make a laundry list of the objections. These are the objections I'm getting. And this is the exact request which I understand. And for this, what should be my approach and answer? Because I've already given, last webinar, I talked about outcome. Everything is going to be an outcome. So we're going to see one objection, one type of objection in the next few minutes time, because I don't have much time. I have another few minutes only. So I would like to take you through a quick winning and selling 3. I'm going to take you through that. So now comes the next one. So we have seen the objection handling. We have seen some prospects will not know the objection. Few prospects will not tell you the objection. We did the suppose and isolate test. And from there, we moved into objection handling, out of which there are 3 things, hidden request, excuses, and gorilla dust. And we also showed you the laundry list of objections. And then you have to articulate. Now comes the reasons for objections. What are the 5 top reasons for the objections? And we'll pick up one and I'll show you a format. As we go along in some of the future webinars, I'll be taking a few more ones. No need, we'll be addressing that today. Look at it, you have to do a 4-step need process. It's called as selling by design. There is something called as a need analysis, need awareness, need solution, and need satisfaction. I repeat, need analysis, need awareness, need solution, need satisfaction. There are 4 things. So first is find out and really ask the probes, which I will be discussing in one of the future webinars. There are different types of probes: open probe, closed probe, yes or no probe, and mirror probe. Now, when you ask those 4 probes, what you would get is you will know exactly whether the prospect has a need or he does not have a need. 2 things. Now, when he has a need, is he giving you hidden requests or is he giving you excuses? If he is giving you excuses, then he is not a prospect. If he is not giving you the excuses, if he is giving you the hidden request, then buying signals have come. And then you can go to what I call as give outcomes, what you would be getting, and that's it. That's no need. That's how you would be doing it. I'm going a little fast, but I want to address all the 5 areas. So no need, that's how you do it. So in fact, I have a quick slide. I'll show it to you also. What is the need analysis? I will give you the first framework for that. The next one is no want. Now, I don't think no want is really a picture. Everybody wants it. Okay. If your product is genuine, if your offering is genuine, you want it. People always ask me, but Sreeram, what happens? He wants it, but the point is, yes, but there are people who have asked me, Sreeram, you can take the horse only to the water. You can't make it drink. But I would always tell them, you can take the horse to the water and make it thirsty. Then it would drink. Now, this is where the power of testimonials come into picture. I'm not sure how many of you use the testimonials. And today the testimonials have to be through the video. Anand Badmanaban is there. Mr. John Koshi is there. Now, one thing which I asked, they've gone through my Become a Speaker course. Meenal Sharma is here. She's gone through a full training, coaching, and mentoring course. I would ask them, give me testimonials. I want testimonials. In fact, one of the guys gave an eyes to, because what happens when you have powerful testimonials, it's a story. Please mark these words. Facts tell, stories sell. So I'm going to type in the chat box a few things which are very, very important to me in sales. First, number 1 is that make the horse thirsty. How do I do that? Testimonials. preferably powerful video testimonials, which are a story. And why should I have testimonials? Because facts tell, but stories sell. Mr. John Koshi has an amazing story. He had an amazing story. He's selling insurance. And he talks about how somebody had not taken the insurance policy, taken the insurance policy, but did not pay the premium and died. And the whole family was on streets. And that's the reason why he does what he does. So this is what happens is when you create this kind of situation, but Sreeram, any product. I came from the United States of America. I didn't have time to look and hunt for the girls. And I want to get married. My parents were putting pressure on me to get married. And here was these guys. They did blah, blah, tuck, story. And here I am with my couple and happily married. And they took care of everything. And I got the best life partner I can ever think of. Now, this is a story. It has to be a video. It has to be less than 1 week. Oh, sorry, 1 minute. And it has to have your credentials. And it should be a true story. And what does it do? You are addressing the want part of it. No want. No need. You have 4 steps. Need analysis, need awareness, need satisfaction. Need solution, need satisfaction. First, you are analyzing. But I have, somebody who wants to do my Ascent Pro, which is costing a few lakhs. Every month they have my training session, coaching session, and mentoring session. And I would have a call tomorrow afternoon by 12 noon, where I'll be sitting with them. And this is before I would do complete need analysis. Ask questions. I have a template. How many of you have got a template? You can have a template even, which can capture all the need. So need analysis. Need awareness. Make the customer aware that this is the need you have. And then I provide need solution. Need solution is nothing but this is the outcome you will get. 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 I told you last week itself, customers do not buy products, they don't buy features, they don't buy benefits, they don't buy solutions, they don't buy service, they buy outcomes. They buy outcomes. Now done. Next, need satisfaction. Once you have satisfied the need, then now make the video testimonial. And the customer who says no want, you can't just take the horse to the water. You have to make it thirsty, and showcasing all these videos will give them the confidence. No want. Next, no hurry. This is a big, big problem. No time, no urgency, no hurry. Now that's the reason why companies come out with offers today alone. Even I come out, and I'm not saying that I'm not a sales guy. I'm also a sales guy. I also came out. So when I did the first training, coaching, and mentoring program, actually I slashed down the price and I said, this batch alone, this is the price. But I implemented it. First batch, I said 11,000 plus GST. And I said, if you're going to take the second batch, if you're going to miss this batch, now you're going to pay a lot more. Second batch, 15,550. And I have people from both the batches sitting in this program. Because I've shown in the first batch, I've shown results. So no hurry is number one. And then you will have to also make people understand that because of a delay in decision making, what are the losses they are going to face? Because understand, people's buying decision is based on 2 strong emotions: fear of loss and desire for gain. People don't have a problem for desire for gain. In fact, people don't have a problem in terms of gaining or not gaining. they are basically what happens. This is not something which I am saying. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that pain and pleasure, it is what Lord Krishna talks about, pain and pleasure. Pain is nothing but the fear of loss. Pleasure is nothing but desire for gain. In the Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says to Arjuna that it is not just the pleasure which drives people to take decision. It is the pain which they want to avoid which makes them to take a decision. So does your story have, if they don't take action now, what is the loss that they're going to go through? In fact, when I used to sell individual development program, I would ask them definitely. And also, another very important area is what I call as, I'm giving you a lot of value today, my dear friends, objection-based testimonials. In fact, we actually help our participants create objection-based testimonial. Okay, I always thought time was a big, in fact, time was a big problem, and as a result of which 2 days in a week between 6 o'clock and 9:30 in the evening, leaving my business and attending the program would be extremely difficult is what I thought. But the first thing the course taught me was time management. As a result of which I was able to manage my time and I was able to run my business. And then I did this program, and this is what it is. And I've got the time, and this is the time I'm using for this purpose, and blah, 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 blah. All those things come, so no hurry. Please understand, when a fellow customer talks about an objection he had and how the product or service helped him to overcome the objection, then it becomes genuine for a prospect. I hope you're able to listen to, you're able to understand what I'm talking about. No hurry. Next, no money. Hey, come on. People have money, my dear friend. People have money. When they say no money, they are saying, I don't have money for you. Simple. I don't have money for you. And does your product or service, you must be able to make them share, because people say, I don't have money. People have money. If the want is there, they will borrow. They will take loan. If they know pretty well this is going to be of a humongous value, if it is going to provide a huge value. And also, I have this habit of genuinely, this is a very genuine thing. I always tell people, okay, if you have a problem with money, I can help you. How I can help you? Can you make a scheduled payments? Okay. Can I break down the bigger project into smaller piece, and based on that, can you make the payment? I don't know that your product will afford or service can do that or not, I don't know. And then another thing is also very critical. I'm going to show you, I've got only the water bottle. If this is the money that they're going to give you, if this is the money that they're going to give you, I hope you're able to see what I'm showing. Now, this is the bottle full of money. Visualize this bottle is full of money. And this bottle is full of outcomes. This bottle is full of outcomes. Customer, you want this bottle. Customer, you want to give him this bottle. So customer will give you this bottle when he is convinced that this bottle is bigger than this bottle, which means the stack of outcomes you got to prove that. Sorry. Outcomes must be bigger and greater than the stack of money. Then they will give you. But then what happens is money issue, I know pretty well, each sales guy will have his own challenge because we all do not sell the same product or solution. Even in lockdown time, people are buying. Do you think people are not buying? People are making buying decisions. But are they buying from you? That's another thing. And when we are talking about the money aspect, I always keep the money aspect right at the end as far as negotiation part is concerned. Because when I talk about the money, money itself has got three components. The three components money has is, I may not have time for all the three right now. So I will take it up in the deal. When I do the deal making, I will do that. Price, cost, and price, cost, and value. I call it as a triangle. Price, cost, value triangle. When somebody says your price is too high, I will immediately ask them, do you mean to say my price is high or my cost is high? Hey, is there a difference between price and cost? There's a huge difference. And then you will sit. You know, the greatest tool for a salesman is a writing pad and a pen. And you will have to handle the price, cost, and value. So in the deal making, I promise you in the free webinar, not I'm talking about you don't have to join the course for this. This particular part, I'll give it to you free in the free webinar. And the last is no trust. Now, come on, my dear friends. Trust will come when you have happy, satisfied, delighted customers. And that's when the trust will come. But Sreeram, I'm a newcomer into the field. How do I do it? You will have to create a customer base. In fact, my friend Phil Bedford, my partner in Ascentive, he tells me, Sreeram, you know what? The course which I was offering in Dubai, it was around $15,000. And people were not willing to take it up. And I needed the first batch. I called up a guy who used to do videography. I told him that you take my videos and I will give you free of cost this program. I went to a hotel and told them that I will use your hotel and I will not pay anything, but on the barter, I'll do this. Likewise, they did. And in fact, he had only 2 paid customers and he had 9 customers who were bartered. And then what happened? But he produced 11 gems and they became his ambassadors. So that's how it is. So trust, if you can address any other thing, no need, no want, no hurry, no money can be addressed. No trust. Trust is not there, nothing will move. And trust, for you, we have equation and all those stuff. That will come in the winning and selling program. I call it as a trust is nothing but C plus R plus I divided by S. So there are several elements into trust. And we have to work on that. So I thought of giving you something on no need part of it. No, I just show you that. It's basically need. You will have to do the selling by design, what I call as need analysis. With this, I'm going to complete because no need. I prepared the whole thing, but I'm not able to. So no need, how do I address? First, I do a needs analysis, figuring out what the prospect needs. And this, I will have to have a questionnaire. I will have to ask 4 types of question: open door question, closed door question, yes or no questions, and mirror questions, probes. Then need awareness, mapping the right product or portfolio. I will have to use the 8K, 8 knowledge elements for that particular thing. And then the need solution, I will have to give a sales pitch and close the sale, which is basically outcomes. Need satisfaction is building trust. When I do this, I'm able to complete my sale. So I've just given you an introduction as far as the 1 minute objection handling is concerned. Now, okay. I would have a request to you in terms of, I would request you to, I'm sharing a link with you. If you felt that this program was good, it was useful, and if it made sense, I'm going to give you a link, nothing but Google feedback link. You can go and just drop in a feedback. This is my mobile number. This is my email ID. This is my website. So I'm stopping the share. I'm going into the chat box right now. I'm going to take question and answers now. I would be happy to hear your feedback. This is my Google page. And my book is getting released very soon. The title of this book is No Reference. Yes, I'm going to allow you to ask questions. So 1 second. I'm just trying to close out all these things. 1 minute. I just want to share with you something. Right. So I want to share the last one details with you because I would love to. This is the book. Oh, sorry. This is the book. I hope you're able to see the no reference point. Some of the big guys in the industry have written the review for the book. And for whatever reason, I'm not able to. 1 second. This is the book. You can see the no reference point. It would be available in the market either on August 21st or August 24th. It's the ultimate handbook to succeed amidst the pandemonium caused by COVID-19 and beyond. And I would also be having a Facebook Live question answer session on what would be there in the book and what's coming. And we have got some great reviews from international guys, including sports guys and chairman of some of the big 4 firms and all those stuff. Okay, so let's come to it. It's time for our question answer session. Let me put it on the gallery view. Raised hands. Teja Sai Kumar, Tataji has raised the hands. Then I have Tataji. Ravindra has raised his hand. Okay, wonderful. So, okay. So let me now go to Ravindra. Ravindra, you're unmuted. You can ask. Okay, Ravindra is unable to unmute. Teja?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Who's that? Teja?
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Top of the world, Teja. Tell me, please ask me, Teja.
Yeah, actually, the thing is competition also very high in the market due to this kind of sections. I mean, I'm doing product-based business, sir.
Okay.
But people are sometimes they are calling your prices very high, but they cannot convince them how it will affect our business.
See, basically, I've told you one thing. As far as price is concerned, I've shown you the example also. When the stack of outcome is more than the stack of money, number one, you will be in a position to make a sale. Number one. Number two, as far as competition is concerned, everyone has a USP, unique selling proposition. What is your unique selling proposition? In fact, I would say do not bother too much about competition. There is a red ocean strategy and there is a blue ocean strategy. What is the red ocean strategy? Competition is dropping price, I will also drop price. Competition is dropping price, I will also drop price. No, you keep on dropping price. In fact, I have a friend of mine called Shankar, who used to be the head of Wipro, All India head of Wipro sales. He once told the customer, one statement he made. The customer told him, HCL has dropped the price so much. Now, how do you drop? This guy, Shankar, is an amazing sales guy. The prospect's name was Ravi Srivatsa, Chief Financial Officer of an Alsamarine group. He looked straight into his eyes. I was sitting there next to him and I was in software sales. He said, Mr. Ravi Srivatsa, just because John Amalraj of HCL has stripped his fans, I'm not going to strip. This is my value proposition. This is the outcome you would be getting. This is the kind of service I would be providing. For that, this is my price. So it's a question of being assertive, because I don't understand why sales guys are not assertive. Because the first thing I said is, do we have the power to ask that question? Like when Ravindra said, that actor told me, sir, that my wife also has to take it. Now, next question you have to ask is, can I give a presentation to your wife? Can I give a demonstration to your wife? I'm not asking for a date with your wife. Salesmen need to have the courage. Sales professionals needs to have the courage to ask the right kind of questions. And you don't go with red ocean strategy. Now, there are so many. I also get a lot of people who come and ask me, Sreeram, $499, $99, $199. I said, I will not do. If you have to take up my course, you got to pay in 6 digits. If it is going to be a short-term course, it has to be in 5 digits. I understand. During lockdown time, you need even more support. And that's the reason why I'm selling. And there are people who have paid for my course and are sitting in this program and attending. Not trying to blow my own trumpet. Because a sales professional need to be assertive. And the moment you are assertive, I can tell you, the customer will understand, hey, this is a different breed altogether. And the outcome, what does your in fact, I don't know whether you attended my last webinar or not. I talked about the 8K. In the 8K, I spoke about competitor. What are the outcomes they'll be getting from competition? What are the outcomes that will be getting from you? Now, first you should know it. I am not going to go and tell bad about competition. Again, that's a very important thing. A lot of sales professionals make a mistake of talking bad about the competition. In fact, company has paid you money to talk good about your company. Company has not paid you money to talk bad about the competition. But when the customer asks, what is the difference between your product and the competitor's product, then you can talk. Because I also have, I have a few people who are amazing sales professionals over the period of years. Okay, somebody like Mr. John Koshi had been in $1 million roundtable in insurance for a long time and has traveled to so many countries for several times. And I will always say, if you're an Apple employee and somebody talks, Apple is not paying you salary to talk bad about Samsung, my dear friend. Apple is paying you salary to talk good about Apple. But when the customer asks, what is the difference between Apple and Samsung? Now, customer is now asking. Now, at that point of time, I will take my paper, I will take my writing pad, put a line, right vertical line in the middle of the page, and put an horizontal line on top. Apple, I will write. Samsung, I will write. And I will start writing. I will not show a presentation. Please understand. Because this is something salespeople have forgotten. This is what pains me. This is how I learned selling. There is no point in showing again. Sir, see this brochure, sir. No, when you write, this is the outcome you will get from Apple. And this is the outcome you will get from Samsung. When you write that and show that, in fact, the best thing which I would do is I will write it, take that piece of paper, give it to the customer and tell him, sir, please keep it. But remember, I have done this after the customer has named the competition. Company is not paying you salary to talk bad about the competition. In fact, for that matter, 3 months later, you might work for the competitor. Then what will happen? Then customer will spit on your face. Please understand. You are not working, nobody is working for the company for a lifetime, unless otherwise it is your own company. So you talk bad about the competition and 3 months later, with the same visiting card, you go and stand in front of the customer will look at you in a different manner. So please be careful, okay? I hope I've answered your question, Teja.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Tataji?
Hello.
Yes, Tataji.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Thank you very much, Tataji.
Sir, I'm into service industry, and what I feel is that every time when you give genuine service and a prompt service to the client,
Yeah.
he will definitely refer us and also make us to give good references also. Means genuine service matters to the customer, sir. Every time you have to available
Right.
to his call.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. No, there are four things: need awareness, need analysis, need awareness, need satisfaction, need solution, need satisfaction. Need satisfaction comes only when you're able to keep a customer satisfied. Customer satisfaction is no more a choice, is no more an option. It is mandatory.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
Okay. In fact, customer delight is what is required at this point in time. And I think you have worked with me in the initial stages of your career, and I think I have spoken
Sure,
so
sir. In
many
2000,
times.
when you
No
give the example.
customers, no business, no business, no revenue, no revenue, no jobs, no jobs, no salary. No salary, no bread, no life. Are you married now?
Yes, sir.
No life, no wife. So be careful. So customer is the most important thing. If you have to feed your wife and your family, you need a customer. So you
Sure,
don't have an
definitely, sir.
option. You don't have an
Definitely.
option there. Okay. I hope I have answered your question, Kapil.
Sure.
Ravindra is there or not there? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else has anything to say? You have a question to ask?
Sir, this is Sarvesh.
Yeah.
This is Sarvesh, sir. Actually, I just need to hear from you. I am from the academic side in college. So, can you enlighten me, like how to make the admission related aspects? How to make?
I think your voice is echoing for me. Can you put it on the chat box, please, if you don't mind?
Yes, sir. Sir, and now is it audible, sir?
It's better now. It's better now.
Yeah.
Good
Yes,
name.
sir. Yeah, Sarvesh, sir. Actually, I just need to hear from you regarding how the admissions point of view, how we can do the marketing
Which
in
college?
academic colleges.
Which kind of college?
Engineering college.
Engineering college. Again, see, it's a question of you have to go in search of, because this is a different ball game altogether. When you talk about engineering, it's a different ball game altogether. The need and want must be there. You can't create a need. Okay, you can't create a need. When I say you can't create a need, what I say is, your son must get into engineering college. No. There should be a genuine need. They may be having objections. They may be having questions. For that, you might have to clarify. You will have to clearly go with testimonials of set of your students who got placed in nice institutions or nice companies. You will have to create those stories, go with those stories as a video and address those customers. This is the most important thing which you need to do. And even if you can do it locally, which part of, you're from Tamil Nadu by any chance?
Tamil Nadu. Yeah.
Tamil Nadu. Which part of
Coimbatore.
Coimbatore. Okay. So now, if you're trying to sell in Coimbatore, probably say some village kind of stuff, areas kind of stuff. Take the case of now, you need to have local examples of success stories of your college, because today, let us face the situation. Don't mistake me for what I'm saying. There is a trust deficit as far as colleges are concerned. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Yes.
There's a trust deficit. Now, as a result of which, there is a trust deficit in terms of college. There's a trust deficit in terms of healthcare. This is a situation because of COVID-19, and before that also it was there. But now it has got amplified. That is the right word to be used. So what do I need to do? Genuine. If your institution is genuine, if you got success stories, if you got those videos and testimonials, go and address them. That's what is important.
If a parent is in front of us, and how can we just convince them if they are in a different state of mind? I can pick from one or the other.
But what I'm saying was, I'm telling you that you need to display success stories of people who have passed out from your colleges, and the good things that they have to say, that needs to be communicated to the parents.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So that is what is important. How much ever you speak about, I have a great infrastructure, the laboratory facilities are good, swimming pool is good. but it requires one person to come and say, hey, over. I'm talking in Tamil 1 minute.
Okay.
Facility, all the good work that you've done has gone down the drain. Voice of the customer. That's what is going to help you to sell, particularly in the COVID-19 time.
Okay.
Because somebody like me, you go to my Facebook and I would put testimonials of people, and there are people who are coming and saying, in lockdown, most of you have been working towards the growth and development of Amazon and Netflix, but I decided to join JVC Sreeram sir's class, and today I've developed and speak like this. Now, that is more convincing than me coming and blowing my own trumpet. Have I understood, my dear friend?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, anybody else?
Sreeram here. Can I?
Yeah, Sreeram. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. So thank you so much for the session. We are from the concept selling background.
Right.
So the people who are asked more objection, the possibility of selling and will be more. That is what the school thought of study we came. So the people are not talking about any objection will be very difficult for them to handle. One thing. Second thing, I just want to understand. Last seminar, you have taken the very strong winning in selling. There, the last point, thinking above possibilities. The last step.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just want to know how that particular strategy. That is one of the very powerful tool. How that will be helpful for this particular objection handling session.
Okay. Second question, I don't think I can answer immediately because that requires a webinar by itself.
Oh, okay, excellent.
A webinar by itself. Let me see if I can host a webinar in future on that particular thing, because I think there has been a demand from a lot of people asking me about that. Number two, the first part of the question is a very, very important and pertinent question which you have asked. In fact, right in the beginning itself, I had said that if the customer does not have interest, he will not have objection. A silent customer is a bigger threat and a problem than a speaking customer. Now, how do I make the customer to open up and speak? That is where my 4 probes comes into picture. Open probe, closed probe, yes or no probe, mirror probe. What are those probes? If I take everything in the training, it's in this webinar, I do not have any content for my training. So maybe for another webinar, I would
understood.
So you will have to do that. So the probes, in fact, I would always say, if I'm interested in playing cricket, when a salesman comes and tells me, hey, I have a German willow, would you like to buy this bat? I'll immediately ask him, what German willow? I've heard about English willow, I've heard about Kashmir willow. Where is this bloody German willow? Where have you come from? How many people have used? Now, I've asked this because I am genuinely interested in buying a cricket bat. If somebody who's not interested in buying a cricket bat, if you go and tell I've got a German willow, he'll say, okay, sir, very good, sir. But he's not going to buy. That's the reason why I said objections are the entry door for a deal and not an exit door for a deal. Thou shalt see objections only as obstacles to be overcome on the way to a successful closure. Simple. Rajesh, you have something to ask? I've seen Rajesh, Bashyam, and John Koshi's hand raised.
First of all, fantastic presentation, Sri. Basically, I was kind of very impressed by the way that you went point by point. I just wanted to contribute a couple of things that I went through in the last week when I closed the deal with a customer, right? Trust is a very, very important factor that I have seen. And I solely won that deal because of trust. And the second thing I wanted to bring about is an ancillary of trust is transparency. And the customer sees that you're a non-bullshitter and you're transparent with them, saying that what, going back to the point, right? You don't kind of sort of bullshit to the customer by any standards. Like they know what they're getting and they're expecting you to actually be transparent about it and say that what you can do and what you cannot do. And that's how, frankly speaking, the customer had better options, but they came to us because they knew that the amount of work or the amount of transparency and the effort that we put together to give them a composite deal was the deal winner. And the email that came out from one of the customer execs, that this is a key decision maker, is based on the fact that it was the transparency and the way that the commitment that we displayed is the deal clincher, right? I mean, that's something that maybe I thought that'll contribute to what happened because of some personal experience that I had last week.
100%.
A second question, Sri, for you is,
Yeah. Go ahead.
second question is, in this COVID times, right? There are people who change the goalposts. I mean, if you go with them, or initially they ask for something, and so due to economic times, as well as the fact that some of them could be really, not very nice people. I'm seeing right now, even though you ink it, they come back and kind of change the goalpost, kind of you sort of delivering a product or whatever it is, right? Solution or product, whatever you want to call it as. So they expect more, and they start pushing for it, and one of them, they can hold back the payment or threaten you that they're going to plug, right? One of the two is true, right? And they actually are kind of sort of not very ethical. Handle those people.
Okay, so point number one is considering the situation and the peculiar times with which we are living in, obviously the outcomes that the customers are expecting are extremely high compared to what it was before. That's why I said, I had one of my quotes few weeks back, I said, to anywhere get to the normal stage of pre-March 2020, we will have to put in 300% more effort. When I say 300% more effort, it also means the outcomes the customers are expecting are much, much more compared to what it was before. That's point number one. Number two, more pertinent question which you asked is unethical. I think there are times, have you ever fired a customer? That's a question I would ask. Have you fired a customer? If you're not, I think if you're having an unethical customer, it's time to fire. So it's time to say, because there are times where you might have to say no to the customer. Because if he's going to take you for a ride, if he's going to rape you, literally I'm saying, there's no point in dealing with such a kind of customers. And there are customers. So, and let me also add one more thing, Rajesh, before I go to John Koshi. 1 minute, I'll come back to you again. Rajesh, one more thing I would like to add. Those are customers who are not genuinely affected by COVID. COVID is only an excuse for them to threaten you, number one, and number two, to do fraud. COVID is only an excuse.
Can I take a 30-second?
Yeah, I'll just go to Mr. John Koshi. He had asked for a long time, and then I'll come back to you immediately. Yeah, just wanted to give him the opportunity. Yes, Mr. John Koshi. Yeah.
Yes, we are into insurance business. Basically, completed 33 years. Therefore, we have come across so many objections, especially like somebody else said, we are also selling tangible items that everybody knows. And say some objections which come on the way means during our sales process is some people like Sreeram sir said, we have to ask some hard questions to overcome those objections. Especially when I was working in India, some people asked to pay 2 premiums for their insurance policies. After that deal is closed, they will ask 2 premium, monthly premium you have to pay from. Then those times I never used to give rebates and discounts. I asked the customer, who is the nominee in the policy? Okay, your wife only. Okay, if I pay the premium, if anything happens to you, your wife will be getting the money. Okay, your family is protected. If you can put my name as the nominee, you can. I will pay 2 premium for you. Like that, there are some questions, thought-provoking questions you have to ask. Especially here when I came to the Gulf countries, like now I am working in Dubai. Okay, here also some religious questions, objections are there. For example, they say that in Quran, they say that insurance is haram. We should not take insurance like that. So in those type of objections, also sometimes we have to ask some tricky questions. One day, that in India, again, it happened. I went to one home. Is a particular objection came like this. Then I asked him only 2 questions. Sir, can I ask you 2 questions? Yes, of course you can ask 2 questions. First I asked him, you have a door, you have a front door here. I was sitting in the drawing room. Okay, you have a door. Okay, whether the door has a lock on it? Yes, it has a lock on it. You lock it in the night or you keep it open? Yes, I lock it in the night. Okay, you have a car? Yes, I have a car. You park in the, you park on the road, you lock it or keep it open? I lock it. Sir, why you lock it? If God takes care of everything, why you lock the door, and why you lock the car? God has given in a brain to everybody. So you have to think and act accordingly. Like that, certain type of things. This is a very vast subject, which there's no time. I also know I cannot grab too much time on this. Okay, there are so many things which in a main seminar or something like that we can discuss all these things.
Exactly. Agreed, Mr. John Koshi. In fact, the thing is, I think, I've been always wanting to tell all the sales professionals that engage with the customer means asking questions. And without that, you will not be in a position to engage with the customer. Otherwise, you're only order bookers. You're not sales guys. You're not sales professionals. Yes, Rajesh Basham, go ahead. I think you had something to ask or something to say. Please go ahead before. And if there is anybody else who wants to say anything, can say. And then we can close the seminar.
Unless until somebody has an opportunity, I mean, they want an
I
opportunity
don't see
to
anybody.
talk, I can.
No.
Okay. One last thing is you asked a question, right? Have you ever fired a customer, right?
Yeah.
So, the flip side of the coin is this. I mean, working under a larger umbrella, right? I mean, it's an enterprise company which has a lot of roots in multiple locations. So this particular example that I'm giving you is a part of a worldwide conglomerate which I'm working with right now. And one in the UK is, partly because the guy is probably new and stuff there, and he actually is trying to push his agenda in the UK to show himself as a deal winner compared to the enterprise which is headquartered in the US, right? So you can see people are kind of taking it in a selfish mode rather than actually seeing it objectively and holistically. So there are two ways of doing it. One, go to the parent company or parent enterprise in the US and say that, guys, this is unethical, this is not acceptable and stuff like that. Or kind of bite it in and say, okay, this is going to be another 6 weeks of effort that we need to put in to make the product more robust for this guy, and walk away. So the tendency is if at all there is a bigger value in the pie, and we can tread this thing later, it's easy decision. But if it's not the case, what is your suggestion? You say that, stop working with this guy and lose value for whatever you've done, or how do you suggest that we should take it?
I would look at it and have a conversation with him, and as an exception, deliver to him more so that the robust product is given to him, considering the situation. And if he is a genuine customer, I asked, the question which I asked in terms of have you ever fired a customer, or those customers who have not been genuine or taken you for a ride, who have probably treated you very badly. But there are, I as a personal example, I can tell you, I walked several miles, extra miles I'm talking about, to serve a customer. And it has always been rewarding. And it is always rewarded in some ways directly from that customer, or in some other ways. Or it has expanded my scope of service. And those are the kind of benefits I've got. Now, whatever I'm saying, people may believe or may not believe, I don't know. But the truth of the matter is, even my session, which is running right now, I told them I'll have 5 sessions, and right now 7 sessions are going on. Because I found that if I have to stretch, I have to give more, and it is going to add more value, and the customer is retained, I would go ahead and do it. But if he's a customer who's going to take me for a ride, he feels that it is his right, and he misbehaves with me, speaks in a language which is not ethical and right, then it's a different call. I hope I've answered your question, Rajesh.
Right, Sri. I mean, I think you're right on the aspect that if it happens so at a point where you're trying to make the deal, if you already made a deal and you're halfway through it,
you have to deliver. You have to deliver.
You have to deliver. Okay. All right.
I would take the call and deliver.
Okay. All right.
But mine is I'm an entrepreneur. I take my own decision. But you are a larger umbrella. You are a big company, give large conglomerate organization. So it involves a lot of stakeholders, and you have to take a call.
Yeah, I mean, in a larger scope, yes, I'm one of the key, what do you call it? I mean, influencers and sort of a decision maker as well. And I've stood against even the management aspect of it. But certain things is very delicate. I mean, that's why I posed this question. If anybody at all, I mean, has gone through any kind of this, I thought maybe there'd be a good a deliberation point at this point of time now that you finished everything. But anyway, thanks a lot.
Thanks. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I think I've heard some nice feedback on the chat box. Somebody had sent me in a private one. I think customer delight is okay, but every time customer satisfaction is mandatory, the product or service, I think so. Customer delight is very important. Yet another wonderful session on objection handling. It's always a pleasure to attend Mr. Sreeram's webinars. At least few takeaways every big time. My biggest learning was objections or entry door for a deal. Objections are not exit door for a deal. Looking forward to a new edition, next edition soon. Review on the Google. So thank you so much for the immersive and excellent session. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for all of you for having made it. We will have a webinar on the Independence Day. Okay. And I think I will be making some announcements on that day by the time things will be ready. So thank you so much for taking the time and participating in this webinar. And do put a comment on the Google page if you liked it, if you disliked it. Anything is okay with me. It's my pleasure. But most importantly, stay safe. Stay safe. Okay, because I think we are all living in unprecedented times. So I'm staying absolutely safe. I'm not shipping out of my house. Absolutely safe. You have to find your ways. Don't get frustrated saying, oh, I'm not able to go out or do all these things. I think as far as if your work allows you to work from home, please stay at home. Stay safe. Have an awesome weekend. Thanks for your time on a Saturday evening that too. Enjoy yourself. Have a great time. Thank you so much. Loving you all. Good night. I'm closing the webinar right now. Thank you very much. It's 7:30. Okay.